It's pretty bright out today. It's about 90 degrees, but what's brighter, the Sun Devil offense. They took down the Washington State Cougars 38-34, Sun Devil Stadium. Zach Keenan, Andrew Bell. Herm Edwards has been talking all of the past 2 weeks about how he wants to hit that elite 35 points per game mark. They finally did it for the first time this season. How did that happen on offense, Andrew?
With a really good freshman quarterback and a running back who is as dynamic as they come, and people, early on in the season had a few tough games against some really tough defenses, but I thought today you saw both those guys break out. Heck of a performance this evening. And then you can't say enough about Jaden Daniels kind of in that fourth quarter. Herm Edwards said this was a game that they're going to need to score 30 points or more to have a chance. That's exactly what they did. The ground game really broke open in the second half, along with, of course, Jaden Daniels' late game heroics as the pair. Kind of the helicopter touchdown where he kind of gets thrown up in the air. But, yeah, just heck of a game for the offense. Can't talk enough about, the three big guys really that everyone was talking about going into the season. Jaden Daniels, Benjamin, Brandon Ayuk, all with really good games. And the offense ends up coming through in a big way today on a day when they needed it against an air raid system in Washington State.
And the three of them on offense really did perform very well. Brandon Ayuk, more so in the first half. It seemed like in the first half, those other guys, they didn't come out as fast. Did ASU come out flat today?
I don't know. I think it's one of those things. You're coming off a 2-week break, kind of, or you have that bye week. In Washington State, they had just lost a couple of games, and they got called out by their head coach after their last game. So Herm Edwards said it during the week, but he knew that they were going to get their best performance day of their A game. That's exactly what they got. So Washington State throws the first punch, but I think Coach Edwards alluded to it in his press conference. With this team, one thing they've developed, and it's similar to their head coach's personality, is they didn't flinch. They go down 10-0. Any team could have kind of sat on kind of the bad things in the first quarter and just ran with that. Had a poor performance all day. They're able to bounce back from it. The defense makes stops when they needed to with kind of a bend don't break mentality against a really explosive offense. And yeah, like I said, they're able to not flinch like Coach Edwards says, and they're able to come through in the clutch. So big win today, and like I said, I think it was more of just Washington State having that sense of urgency, coming off 2 losses and getting called out by their head coach.
And, it was a huge win for the team. You talk about the air raid offense. They performed so well, but it wasn't like the Washington State offense carved up the ASU defense consistently. It was more so big plays they scored their touchdowns on, were they not?
Yeah, they had a few big plays, most notably the 35-yard pass to start the game. And I think with the air raid offense, one thing that they're so smart with is just the routes they run and the little short routes. They are so great at creating space kind of with this team. And so the offense looked really good for them on Washington State. They had those few big plays. That's what they're accustomed to doing. They're used to having big plays. You think about that UCLA game they had at the beginning of conference play where there's over 60 points in one game. So I think it was more of the big plays. I think the defense kind of have a bend, don't break mentality. They came with pressure sometimes. There's times where they'd only rush 2. They're dropping a lot of guys. So it was kind of one of those things where they're throwing different looks. I thought they came up big as the game kind of wore on. Guys like Ashari Crosswell, I thought he had a few really big plays. Jack Jones, got a couple times where he maybe got beat, but kind of stuck with it as the game went along. And the biggest play of the game, in my opinion, of course, you have the Jaden Daniels rush, but the defense coming up with the stop just before the touchdown drive. They had some bad field position. There's a punt. They get pinned. The next punt only goes 29 yards. The defense needs to step up, working with only half the field. They're able to force a field goal for Washington State that sets up the touchdown drive. ASU's probably going to overtime or even something worse than that if they're not able to come up with that defensive stand there. So when they needed it most, they came up with a big play and kind of in a tough situation with half a field.
Hey, bend don't break. I took this guy from Scotty Gange out of Cal last week. He'll get him back in Salt Lake City next week.